Start. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri-Gurave Namaha Vandeham Shri-Guror Shri-Yutapad-kamalam Shri-Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri-Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana-Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvatam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindha Deenabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayine Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa-swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyan Namami Bhakta-shaktikam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditaratas Charte subhigyaswarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Muyanti Yat Suraya Tejo Vari Mridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Vrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakvakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet Swasti Astu Vishwasya Khalah Prasidatam Dhyayantu Bhutani Shivam Mithodhiya Manasya Bhadram Bhajatadadhokshaje Avishyatam no matirapyahetuki. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, chapter number 18, verse number 31, actually 29. So this is a description of Jambu Dweep, and we read about Ketumal Varsa, Ramyak Varsa. Now he is talking about Hiranmaya Varsa. So he says, Hiranmayapi Bhagwan Nivasati Kurma Tanum Vibhranas Tasya Tatpriyatamam Tanum Ariyama Saha Varsha Purushaihi Pitri Ganadhipati Rupadhavati Mantram Imam Cha Anujapati. So in Hiranmaya Varsha, Lord's form is Kurma, and he is being worshipped by Ariyama, one of the Pitris or forefathers, like the Pitri Loka, he is the chief of them. And the form of the Lord is very beautiful, Priyatamam. So along with the people of that Varsha, he is worshipping him. So he is the Pitrigana Adhipati, chief of the Pitriganas, and he chants the following mantra. So there is not much comment on this. It says Sachaso Priyatama Chaiti Tam. But the form of the Lord is very dear to him. And this is the mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Kuparaya Sarvasattva Guna Visheshanaya Anuplakshit Sthanaya Namo Varshmane Namo Bhumne Namo Avasthanaya Namaste. Did we read this? Yes?
Sorry.
No?
The mantra sounds familiar.
We did this one.
Looks like. Anyway, we can read it again. So the mantra says that I pay my respect to the Lord, who is Akuparai, or forming of Kurma, and Sarva Sattva Guna Visheshanaya. He is having the Vishuddha Sattva form, and Anupalakshita Sthanaya. There is no specific place for him because Kurma is in the ocean and he keeps on moving. So he is not like Narasimha sitting in one place. He is relaxed and floats. Sometimes in Indian Ocean, sometimes goes to another one. So Namo Varshmane, and I give my respect to him who is Varshmana, means he is great. Bhumne is all pervading, and Namo Avasthanaya, who is the support of everybody. So in the commentary just giving the meaning of these words. Akuparai means Kurma, to Kurma Sarva Sampurna Sattva Guna Yatra. So he has the complete Sattva Guna, and Sattva Guna here means the Vishuddha Sattva, not the material Sattva. Tatha Bhutam Visheshanam Akaro Yasya Tasmai Shuddha Sattva Mute. So his Akar, his form, his body is Shuddha Sattva. This is said again and again, just to dispel the doubt, thinking that Kurma can be a material form. So, na uplakshitam sarvair adrishtam vakunthakyam sthanam. And anuplakshita sthan here means, one is that being a Kurma it doesn't have fixed place, or it means that his place is in Vakuntha, because every form has their own spiritual world, and that obviously is not visible to us. So that is the meaning he gives. And Varshmane Mahapramana is big in size. Bhumne Vyapakaya is all pervading. And Avasthana means Adhar, he is the support. So he says, Niz Rupame Yad Rupame Tat Niz Maya Arpitam Arthaswarupam Bahirupa Rupitam Sankhyana Yasyasti Ayatopalabhanat Tasmai Namaste Vyapadesh Rupine. So he says that this form of the Lord, Yad Rupameta, is Maya Arpitam. That this material world is made by the Lord, and his own form is called Arthaswarupam, or means it is the real. Artha is the object of achievement or something which we want. So his form is supreme, and he appears in many forms. There is no counting of him. Sankhyana yasya asti athopalambhanat. Because Lord has various forms. So there is no fixed number of his forms. And he is beyond the limit of time. And Avyapadesha Rupina means it is not possible to fix him. That this much is he. We cannot define him completely. It is not that he cannot be defined, but he cannot be defined in full. So that is the meaning of Avyapadesha. In the Upanishad it is said, Yato Vacha Nivartante Aprapya Manasasaha. The speech returns from him along with the mind. So he is not the object of speech, yet he is the only one who is described in the Veda. So both type of statements you find. Vedasya sarvair hameva vedya. From the Vedas I am to be known. And also he cannot be defined in avyapdes, vapur, or whose form or name cannot be ascertained. So that is because he is Ananta. So in the Vedas there are different statements. Some statements describe him directly. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And some indirectly, saying that he is not this, he is not this world. So both we find. Etad Vishwam Yasya Taveva Rupam. So this world is also only his form. And this is the principle we have been reading many times here in Bhagavatam. That the universe, because he is the cause, and according to the philosophy of Satkaryavad, the effect is not different from the cause. Right? What is Satkaryavad saying? Manjari? No? Forgot? So Satkaryavad says that the effect always exists in the cause. And effect is the unmanifest form of the cause. Effect is the manifest form of the cause, and cause is the unmanifest form of the effect. So therefore effect is nothing but cause manifest. So in case of Lord, of course, it is not that he is manifest in this material world completely, but it is only one of his energy. Bahiranga Shakti becomes manifest. So that way the world is the Lord, but Lord is also more than it. So that's why there are statements in the Upanishads, Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma, that all this is Brahman, because it has come from that. It's like if you take gold, and from gold you make some ornaments. So you say this is all gold. So there are various shapes. You can make earrings, you can make bangles, necklace. So many other types of ornaments are made. Some may be good, some may be bad, but everything is gold. So therefore a spiritualist is one whose vision is on the gold, and materialist is one whose vision is on the form. And this is beautiful and this is not beautiful. This is well made and this is not well made. That is the difference between spiritualist and materialist. So the same thing, but we perceive and then we understand it differently. This is one of the points which is repeated also many times in this Shastra. The two people see the same thing, just like you see a painting. And then from that, everybody takes their own meaning. So one teacher was there, and he said that everybody should come on the board and draw something wonderful. So one boy came and he drew like a wave. So teacher asked, what is it? So he said, it is lightning. So lightning of course is very wonderful. And somebody else, he came, he drew some drops of water falling down. So what is this? He said, this is a stream. Then one boy came and he just put a dot. So the teacher looked at him and he says, what is this? So he said, this is a period. So he says, what is so special about it? So So the boy said, well, I don't know, but in my house my sister has missed period and the whole family is very ecstatic about it. So it must be something very special. She became pregnant. So he said, everybody's talking about this period. So people have different vision of the same thing. For this boy, the period is only the dot. For them, others it is something else. So this world looks different to different people. As you see a painting and then you make your own, especially if it is a modern painting. Then you bring out your own meaning out of it, depending on what is inside you. So basically we see what is inside us, because whenever we see, we try to recognize things. We are basically recognizing things. So I was reading long ago that when the pilgrims first went to America, they went in a ship. And when the ship came on the shore and people came, the ship was there, but these Indians or Red Indians or local native people, they were not able to see the ship. Even when he was pointing, do you see the ship? And he said, what ship? Because they have never seen one. So there was nothing to, accommodate it in their perception. So many times we don't see things. When an artist is walking on a road, the way an artist sees things, the colors, the maybe houses, how they are built, that is different than suppose a philosopher is walking. The philosopher will see in one way. He will say, this is all material. An artist will see something else. It is the same thing. But because what is inside them, then it appears. If a businessman is walking, he will see differently. He will see, what can I sell here? His mind will work only how to make money, because that's what is inside him. So it is very interesting how different people react differently to the same situation or same environment. And sometimes it is very amazing, because we may never think like that, or we may never see it from that point of view, and suddenly somebody else comes and says something. You say, really, I never thought it that way. So this is because of our vision. So Shastra is teaching us to have a universal vision, which means to see things from Lord's perspective. We may have so many perspectives, there is no end of them. But the real is to see from the absolute reality point of view. So that is what Shastra is. That is called Shastra Chakshu. So, Mudhananu Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusha. So foolish people do not see that there is spirit behind everything. Utkranantam sthitam vapi. And the soul leaves the body, or when is it situated in it. So ignorant people, they cannot ascertain, they cannot understand. Even if you try to tell it to them, they cannot understand. So what do you mean there is soul in the body? So for a Jnana Chakshu it is very normal. And for an Ajnana Andha, Timirandasya, that is a mystery. So therefore Shastra is giving us a vision that there is presence of Lord in everything. So etad vishvam yasya taveva rupam. This universe is your form, and eva means it is your form only, nothing else. Not mixture of two. It is the form of the Lord only. So we can approach the Lord from what is visible to us. Kintu maya shaktya arpitam natu swarup bhutam. But this universe is a manifestation of maya shakti, not his internal potency. So yet this helps us to understand him. Because that is the definition of Brahman given in the Vedanta Sutra. Janmadasya yataha. Otherwise, how can we define the Lord? If we have to define him, how will you define? Because anyway you will define him, you will only make the person understand. If you say he is black in color, so the person is going to assume the black which he knows. Or he has hands and feet black. That's why when you try to tell that God is like a human being, they think that this is what is called anthropomorphism. So they think like that. Because for them it is not possible to grasp that God can have form. Because form means material, form means limitation. So therefore, many of the major religions, especially the Abrahamic religions, are all impersonal. They don't speak of God having a form. They actually are against it. Jews are not even allowed to enter temple where there is a form of God. This is a sin for them. If they enter a temple, then they have to go another sanskar. Yeah, they are not allowed. Right? So this is their understanding. Of course, when Moses saw God, what did he see?
Who?
Moses.
He didn't see, he had.
He heard. But didn't he see the burning bush or something?
He saw the burning bush and he saw like rose, I guess. So, but really he had the voice of God from him.
Was it from outside or inside the head?
Same.
Because I read another theory. You have not heard this theory. The theory is that he was actually searching for these mushrooms.
In the desert.
Yeah. And then he found them on this mountain. And he ate this mushroom. And these are the ones which gave him the vision of God.
Hallucinating mushrooms.
Yeah, there are special types of mushrooms. If you eat them, you hallucinate.
The helicarcination name, what is their reason?
So that's how they even translate many of the Indian books. It says Lord Shiva is nothing but actually it is mushroom. That's why it has that form like that. It says people don't understand this. This is the secret.
It's in the mushroom.
Hmm?
It's in the mushroom.
Yeah. So Moses was actually going place to place looking for this.
He took all the people with him to
Yeah, because he has to experience this, and then he left them down. He said, you guys stay back. I will go up. So he went. He had the experience and he came and told. This is one interpretation.
very smart.
Yeah, he read it. Then he took them to the promised land. After that.
But how did he convince everybody?
they were already convinced by him.
But how could he convince them about this if they did not have much?
They had faith in his words. And then he showed them the promised land, which is full of desert. You see how much faith they had. Where did he take them? To a desert.
Yeah.
So how can that be the promised land? But everybody believed him. They wandered 40 years in the desert. Finally he landed on Kol and said, this is the promised land.
There were no mushrooms.
So some tribes, they lost faith in him, they came to India. They said, this guy is tricking us. He's going around and around. So they left him. Those are the lost tribes. So some of them, they recently found some in Assam. And they are trying to get them back. Some people have gone, you know that? They now found out by the DNA test. And they found one tribe in Assam, Nagaland, that area. Yeah. And this is a fact. And many of these people have migrated to Israel. Because they are trying to get their lost children back. There was a big article about it. And also interview of these people, how they are feeling after going back to Israel.
You don't have to.
No, you don't have to, but if you want, then you can go. And you will be given the facility to settle there. So,
In the desert.
no, not desert, promised land.
They are finding in many places in the world.
Yeah.
Very researching.
So he says that this is your form alone, taveva rupam, kintu maya shakti arpitam, na tu swarupam. But this is made by maya shakti and not your real thing. Artha swarupam, vastu swarupam, na tu avastu bhutam, bahubhir नर गो पशु पक्षी मत्स्यादि रूपे रूपितम निरूपितम किंतु संख्या यस्य नास्ति. And then you have your real form, which is described here as bahu rupa rupitam. So that is various types, as human beings, as cowherd and birds, and as matsya, kurma, etc. So he says asankhya, there is no limit to your forms. Because actually ultimately all forms are belonging to him. He is Sarvarupa. So ayatha upalambhanat yatavad upalambdham ashakyatvat yai parkarai ridam vishvam abhut tesham upalambhana ashakyatvat ityat. So then he is called ayatha upalambhana. Means we cannot know how he exists. We cannot find him as he is. And we also cannot know how this universe was created. So you see, the science is working very hard trying to study the universe, trying to understand how it was created. They will never be successful because they are missing the very cause. They are trying to study it without the cause. If you want to study something, you have to study the cause of it. If you want to study an earring, you should study gold. You don't want to study gold, then you keep on studying the shape, that it is round, that is this inch long, that inch. Then what do you know? You know nothing. So therefore they will never be successful in it. Because they are missing the very point, which is the cause of the universe. So that is ayatha. It's like Brahma, he was also trying to figure out his cause when he was created by going through this tube, lotus. And he traveled for so long, could not figure it out. Because mechanically there is no end to it. There is no end to material nature, there is no end to this universe. Although it is defined as having an end, that it is 50 koti or this. But really speaking, physically one will never find an end to it. It's like if you want to find the end of earth, can you find? You go round and round. So like that you cannot find the end of the universe. It's also round. So you go round, you come to another. Of course in earth you can figure it out that it is round and you have come to a place where you started, and the universe is so big you will never come to your starting point. So you can never figure out. That is ayatharpana. That's why Sukadeva Goswami had said earlier that even if you live thousands of years, then you cannot find the limit of this universe. Kastham mansa vatsa, not even through your mind. It's not possible. तथा ही एकस्य स्थूलस्य नरजातेरेव प्रतिशरीरं वर्ण स्वभाव कंठ स्वरादि भेदानंत प्रकार ज्ञातुम अशक्य. So he says, if you take even just the human race, so much variety, various colors, nature, voice, how different various languages, so pitch, all so much variety. Like you try to study each one of them. Everybody is unique. Although they do research and they find medicine of some disease and they give it for everybody. But actually every medicine cannot work on every person. Because everybody is unique. So Ayurveda at least makes some broad categories, try to differentiate according to Vata, Pitta, Kapha and their combination. At least 7 categories they make. In modern medicine there is nothing like that. It's all same for everyone. So that's why it creates problem. It works on some and for other it creates problem, not to speak of curing the disease. Because everybody has different nature, and moreover they test this medicine on animals. They test it on rabbits, on rats, but human beings are different.
So tested on human beings.
Human beings also, but a lot of test is also done on animals. And then it is applied on human beings. So that does not work. Sukshmanam svedaj udbhidajadinam ka varta iti anantasya. So this is about human beings. He says then what to speak of the small living beings like lice which are born from heat, svedaj. There are 4 types: Jarayuj, Andaj, Udbhijan, Svedaj. So you try to study then the Udbhija which come out from the ground. So many varieties are there, how much you can study. So he says therefore there is no limit. Anantasya tav shakti karyasya api anantya. Because you are unlimited, your creation is also unlimited. Atastav sarup bhutasya rupasya sarv agamyatve kyamutyameva ityaya vyapdesha. So therefore he says that your swarup, if this is the situation in the material world, which is only one part of the Lord, and you can imagine the spiritual world and Lord's own form. Who can fathom it? It's not possible. So therefore he says that It is called Avyapadesha. Vaktum ashakyam nityam rupam yasitas. It says it is impossible to speak about it in eternal form. So then he continues, he says, Jarayujam svedajamandajodbhidam characharam devarsi pitribhutamendriyam Dyaukham kshiti shaila sarit samudra dvipa graha kshati abhidheya eka. So there is so much variety of the Lord, how he is manifest. So first he says that there are these 4 types of living beings. Jarayuj are born from the womb, Svedaja born from heat. Sometimes you keep some rice or dal in a pot, close it, and if you don't use it for a few months, then you find there are so many living beings. They have not come from outside. They are all taking birth there. So these are called Svedaja. And then there are Andaja, born from eggs, and Udbhidaja, those which steer the earth and come out from plant life. So Characharam, some are moving, some are stationary. So stationary trees, mountains, they all have life. And then we have Devarshi, Devas, Rishis, sages, and Pitris, the whole planet of the Pitris. Big fun there, family life. You go and live in a big family. And who else is there? And then there are Bhutas. It's also one type of species. They are also powerful people. Bhuta, Pisacha, Rakshasa. They are all superhuman beings. They have more power than human beings. And then Indriyam, Indra. And then there is Dyav, there is the sky, there is Kham, space, Kshiti, earth, Israel, mountains, Sarit, rivers, Samudra, oceans, Dvipa, islands, Graha, planets, Vriksha, stars. So he says these are all iti abdheya ekaya. These are all your names. They are all your manifestations. It is not something else. It's actually quite mind-boggling when you think, and then you think that you can actually talk to this God. Isn't it? You think so easily that there is Krishna and you can talk and this, but when you try to imagine that how great he is, what is all behind him, then it is very overwhelming that this God can even be approached. So this is stated here. So he says that Tadevam ananta bhedasyapi vishwasya twadeka karanatvat ek vidhatvamapi ityaha jarayana. So he says you are the only one cause. Usually whenever something is created, there are many causes behind that. You will rarely see something which is caused only by one thing. There are many, many causes. If you even see that you are wearing cloth, so how many people have actually gone to create this? It is made from cotton, then cotton was grown, then it was picked, then it was brought to market, then from there it was purchased, then you made the thread, then the cloth, then the shirt, then again supermarket. So many people involved in one thing. Same with food. So, but this big universe which has so much variety in it, there is only one cause for it. This is quite amazing. If you try to see this house, how many causes went into it to make. take the bricks, the wood, the cement, the plaster, the fans, lights, electricity, so on. But God, he says, is one cause, Ekaya. So that's why he is called Swarata. Means who is not dependent on anybody. Everybody depends on him, but he is not dependent on anyone. He is the only one. So that's the reason that he is worshipped. There are other very powerful people who are also worshipped or can be worshipped, but they are not independent. They are deriving their power from him. So that is what is called Bhagavan. This is what Bhagavan means. Bhagavan is not just the creator, but much more than that. It's not just the ruler or controller, much more. So these verses are giving an idea. Graharksha iti arsham iti yasham ekastvameva abhidheya. So he says all these things which are described here, he says they are all actually you. Although they have different names, but ultimately they are you. Tatha cha Shruti sarvam khalu idam brahma. So therefore there is a famous statement, it's one of the very famous statements in the Upanishad, that all this is Neha narasti kinchana. That here there is no variety. It's all one. And one who sees variety, he meets death. Yo mrityu, ya mrityu mrityu mapnoti, ya iha nana pashyati. So one who does not see this one reality, as Krishna says that everything is strung on me like the beads on the thread. So one who does not see this, then he attains death. Otherwise he becomes immortal. So yasmin asankhya vishesha nama rupakrito kavibhi kalpite संस्था यथा तत्वदृशापनीयते तस्मै नमः सांख्य निदर्शनायते. So he says yasmin asankhya vishesha nama rupakrito kavibhi kalpite. So it is in him that unlimited names, forms, etc., they have been imagined in him by the scholars. So some people are defining this universe as Prakriti, Purusha. Some people are saying there are 16 tattvas. Gautam saying that. Some people, Sankhya say 24. Some people say 7. So it is only in Vedanta that it is said that there is only one. So that's what Bhagavatam says. Vadanti Tattvidas tattvam is jnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shara. So only Vedanta and Bhagavatam is very wonderful explanation of that Vedanta, very clear. That tells us the truth that there is one reality. So this, when one has this tattva vision, when one has this understanding of the tattva, then all this variety disappears. Then one knows. When you understand that the earrings, nose ring, bangles, necklace, all is made of gold, then you see only gold. And it is named system. So, Mritika eva Satyam. The truth is Mritika. And then you have various parts made from the clay. So that is the proper. So he says that I pay my respect to you, who are the Sankhya Nidarshana. He is explaining the tattva, reality, or knowledge. Kincha Vishwasya asya nashvaratvat Jnanibhir anupadeyattvamaha yasminati. He says because this universe is perishable, so it is not of much use to the jnanis, to the learned, to the wise people. Because whatever you do here, it will perish. You can make big plan, then it is known. Fortunately, it did not perish on 21st December. Otherwise, people were predicting that everything will perish on 21st. So at least it is not that perishable. It is perishable, but little more stable than perishing on 21st December. So asankhya ananta vishesha tani namani rupani akriti. There are unlimited names, unlimited forms and shapes. So basically the material world is nothing but name and form. That's all. It is all the game of name and form. The background is one. So all the variety is of the name and form. And all the fight is for that. Because they say, oh, this is better than that one and I like this and you should not have that. So iti lakshana jarai jadi sankhya kalpita sati yatu tattva darsha. So he says these are all imaginations in the vision of a person who understands the reality. Yena tattva jnanena apniyate tasmai te sankhya. So when one has a true understanding, then it is removed. Tattva drisha apniyate. So therefore he says, I pay my respect to you because you are the personification of that knowledge. The word Sankhya also means knowledge. So Sankhya Nidarshanaya, showing the knowledge of Sankhya, I give my obeisances to you. So these are the prayers of Aryama in Hiranmaya Varsha. So the next we will read about Uttar Kuru Varsha tomorrow. Is there any question on this?
You mentioned one way of the living entities taking birth is through heat. Sometimes we hear sweat. Is that the same? Is that proper?
Sweat also comes by heat.
Oh.
No? When your body feels hot, then you feel sweat.
I also touch on that. But it's something like this entity who takes birth in this they're inside this box, and before there was grain. Meaning that the soul is in the grain. Or?
Soul is everywhere. Soul is Sarvagata.
But then if the grain is airtight in the seal, then where did they end?
They are not in the grain, they want to have grain in them.
But where did they come from?
Souls?
No, those little entities in that grain. It was a grain that tin was sealed.
Yeah, because soul can go anywhere. They get their body. From the air, from the heat, from the closed atmosphere.
Yeah. so thin, so
They say
small.
that there are
Molecules.
more living beings on 1 square centimeter of your skin than there are people in the world. But they're microscopic, you can't see them. They live on our skin. But we don't know that, but
Overpopulation.
they're there.
So if they take little bigger body, then you can see them. Then you say, oh, from where are they coming? They're already there.
You just said that name and form designations need a material around the background of which is only one. Right?
Yeah.
So now I'm looking at the picture behind you. It's a picture of a spiritual realm, and they have names and they have form. How do I understand that?
No, he's not talking about the spiritual world. He's talking about this universe. He's talking about the universe, material realm. There was no talk of the spiritual world there. There was no talk of spiritual name and spiritual form.
So can we conclude that the spiritual name and form, there is no such thing?
Yeah, of course. Spiritual name, yeah, we all know that spiritual name is absolute. It is not different from the form. But the material name is not one with the form. Form is different, name is different. It's only a convention. We gave convention that I call this as a table. And we all agree to call it table. Suppose we all decide. Sometimes when they do spying, then they make their code words. So table may mean something else for them. It's a matter of convention. So they may speak to in front of us and use the word table, and for us table means this, but for them it means something else. So his name is just a convention. But Krishna's name is not a convention. Because who made the convention? He is the original person. There is no one before him to make a convention. And form are temporary. They are all the time changing.
What?
It is even difficult to ascertain what is the form. If you look at your body and you call this as your body, and if I ask you that is this body one with the parts in this, or is it separate from the parts, you will not be able to answer properly. So you cannot say that your body is one with the parts, or is it separate with the parts, from the parts. So then where is the body? It doesn't exist. Is it a combination of parts? Is it a transformation of parts? Is it an aggregate of parts? Is it non-different from the parts? Or is it separate from the parts? These are the only options possible, and none of these options can actually give satisfactory answer. So then the conclusion is that there is no body.
It's convention. There is at least only one substance.
There is only Paramatma. Sarvam Khalo Idam Brahma.
And where's the Atma? There's only one Paramatma. Then where's the Atma?
Atma is part of Paramatma. question here
Mm.
from Trapped Lee Sunanda. What is the difference between seeing in his head with seeing outside the head? Again, seeing in his head based upon seeing from outside, unless it is imagination, which is also based upon outside head. And he can also dream. And in the dream there is nothing outside, it's all in the head. You may have samskaras, but at least that time when you are seeing, it's all inside the head. When it is outside and you see, then the object is also there outside and you are seeing it. But when you are dreaming, the object is not outside. It's all inside. Is it clear?
Hallucination can be answered also.
Hallucination is also inside the head.
No, only in the mind.
Okay, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Maybe.